Take a good look at your fingernails right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. Hold your hand up in front of you, spread your fingers, and really look at them the way you would look at an old photograph. Because what you are about to see, or what you have already been seeing without knowing it, might be trying to tell you something your body has been whispering for months, maybe even years, and most people over 60 completely miss it. Here is the truth that very few doctors take the time to explain during a rushed 15-minute appointment. Your nails are not just something you trim on a Sunday afternoon. They are not just there to look nice or to scratch an itch. Your nails are one of the few places on your entire body where you can actually see your inner health with your own eyes. No blood test, no scan, no machine. Just you, your hands, and a little bit of attention. And when you cross the age of 60, those small changes in your nails can become early warning signs, quiet signals, the kind of signals that show up long before you ever feel truly sick, long before the pain, long before the diagnosis, long before anyone sits you down and says the words nobody wants to hear. I want you to stay with me through this, because by the end of the next few minutes, you are going to look at your own hands in a completely different way, and you may end up thanking yourself for paying attention today instead of waiting until it was too late. Now let me be clear about something right from the start. I am not here to frighten you. Fear is not why we are here. I am here because knowledge protects you, and because the people who catch these signs early are almost always the ones who stay independent, stay sharp, and stay on their own 2 feet for many more years. The ones who ignore them often find themselves surprised by a problem that had been building quietly the whole time. So let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed a change in your nails and just brushed it off? Maybe they got a little thicker. Maybe they started looking a bit yellow. Maybe you saw a strange ridge running down the middle, or a spoon-like curve, or a colour you had never seen before. And maybe you told yourself it was just old age, just wear and tear, just one of those things that happens when the years pile up. Here is what most people miss. Aging alone does not usually cause dramatic changes in your nails. Yes, nails can grow a little slower and get a little more brittle as we get older, and that part is normal. But when your nails start changing colour, changing shape, changing texture, all growing in strange ways, that is often not aging at all. That is your body sending a message from deep inside. And the message can point to conditions that affect your heart, your lungs, your blood, your liver, your thyroid, and even your brain. That is why this matters so much for you and me. Because the nail is like a window, and behind that window, the whole house is either healthy or in trouble. Let me explain why this even works, in the simplest way I can, because once you understand it, you will never forget it. Your nails are fed by tiny blood vessels underneath them. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and information from every part of your body. So when something is going wrong inside you, the blood supply to your nails changes. The oxygen level changes. The nutrients change. And slowly, the nail itself starts to change to match what is happening inside. It is almost like your nails are keeping a diary of your health, written in shapes and colours, and most people never learn how to read it. Today I am going to teach you how to read that diary, and I am going to focus on 4 hidden conditions that your nails can reveal after the age of 60. 4 conditions that too many older adults discover far too late. Stay with me, because the third one surprises almost everyone, and the fourth one is the one people ignore the most. Before we go deeper, do me one small favour. If you have ever noticed something strange about your nails, type your age in the comments right now and tell me what you saw. Just a word or two. You would be amazed at how many people your age are noticing the very same thing and staying silent about it. Let's break that silence together. Now, let's begin with the first sign, and this is one you can spot in seconds. Look at the colour underneath your nails. In a healthy person, the nail bed, that skin under the nail, has a soft pink tone. It looks alive. It looks warm. Now here is what you need to watch for. If your nails start looking pale, almost white, or washed out, and this does not go away, that can be one of the earliest visible signs of anemia. Anemia simply means your blood does not have enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen properly. And in older adults, this is far more common than people realise. Why does this matter to you? Because anemia in seniors is often ignored or blamed on something else. You feel tired, and you think it is just age. You feel weak climbing the stairs, and you think you are simply out of shape. You feel dizzy standing up and you worry about your balance when the real problem might be that your blood is quietly starved of what it needs. Fatigue, breathlessness, cold hands, a racing heart, foggy thinking. All of these can trace back to anemia, and your nails may have been showing it long before you connected the dots. Here is what makes this so important. Anemia in an older person is not always simple. Sometimes it comes from not eating enough iron. But sometimes, and this is the part your doctor takes seriously, it can point to slow bleeding somewhere inside the body, often in the stomach or intestines. That is why pale nails should never be dismissed. They are not proof of anything by themselves, but they are a reason to ask questions. They are a reason to get a simple blood test, and that one small test can catch a problem while it is still easy to fix. Now here is the good news. Anemia is often very treatable once it is found. Many older adults feel like a completely different person once their blood is back where it should be. More energy, steadier balance, a clearer mind. The tiredness that they blamed on getting old suddenly lifts, and it can all start with something as small as noticing that your nails have lost their healthy pink glow. So that is the first sign. Pale nails. Simple to see, easy to miss, and worth paying attention to. Let's move on to the second sign, and this one is a little more dramatic because it changes the actual shape of your fingers. I want you to look at your fingertips and your nails from the side. In a healthy hand, there is a slight angle where the nail meets the skin, but in some people, over time, that angle disappears. The fingertips get rounder, wider, almost bulbous, like the end of a drumstick, and the nails start to curve downward over the tip, wrapping around like the back of a spoon, turned the wrong way. Doctors call this clubbing, and it is one of the most important nail signs you can ever learn to recognize. Here is what makes this dangerous. Clubbing often points to a problem with oxygen, and the most common reasons behind it involve the lungs and the heart. When your lungs or your heart are not getting enough oxygen into your blood over a long period of time, your body responds in strange ways, and one of those ways is that your fingertips slowly change shape. It can happen so gradually that you never notice it day to day. But if you compared a photo of your hands from 10 years ago to your hands today, you might be shocked. Why should this matter to you right now? Because chronic lung conditions and certain heart conditions are among the biggest threats to independence in older age. They steal your breath. They steal your energy. They make a simple walk to the mailbox feel like climbing a mountain. And in some cases, clubbing can be an early visible clue of something far more serious growing inside the chest. That is not something to panic over, but it is absolutely something to check. This is where the problem starts for so many people, when they see the change and decide to wait and see, instead of getting it looked at. Let me be very clear and very gentle here. Seeing clubbing does not mean you have a terrible disease. Some people have it for reasons that are not dangerous at all, and a few people even have it in their family, without any illness behind it. But because it can be linked to the lungs and the heart, it deserves a proper look from your doctor. Never diagnose yourself from a video. Never stop or change any medication on your own. Use what you learn here to ask better questions, not to frighten yourself into a corner. And here is the reassuring part. When these underlying problems are caught early, there is often a great deal that can be done. Breathing can be supported, hearts can be helped, lives can be extended and improved. The people who do best are the ones who noticed something, spoke up, and got answers instead of staying quiet out of fear. Take a breath. You are doing something powerful right now, just by learning this. Most people go their whole lives never knowing that their own hands could tell them so much. Now we come to the third sign, and this is the one that surprises almost everyone I talk to, because it hides in plain sight. Look closely at the surface of your nails. Are they smooth or do you see lines? Now, small vertical ridges running from the base of the nail to the tip are usually harmless and very common as we age. Those thin up and down lines are often nothing to worry about. But I want you to look for something different. I want you to look for horizontal lines, lines that run sideways, across the nail, deep grooves or dents that cut across from one side to the other. Those are the ones that tell a story. These sideways lines are sometimes called Bowes lines, and here is why they matter so much. A horizontal groove across your nail is like a mark on a tree ring. It shows a moment when your nail stopped growing normally, usually because your body went through something serious, a severe illness, a high fever, a major stress on the system, sometimes even a reaction to certain medications or treatments. When the body is under great strain, it puts nail growth on pause, and later, that pause shows up as a line moving up the nail as it grows out. Now here is what fascinates me, and what should fascinate you. Because nails grow slowly, that line can appear weeks or even months after the event that caused it. So your nail might be carrying the memory of a health crisis you did not fully understand at the time. And if these lines keep appearing, again and again, it can mean your body is repeatedly being pushed to its limit by something ongoing. It might point to problems with blood sugar and diabetes, to thyroid trouble, to circulation issues, or to nutritional gaps that leave your body unable to keep everything running smoothly. This is where it ties back to the things you care about most. Blood sugar that swings too high or too low does not just affect your energy. Over time, it affects your nerves, your eyes, your kidneys, your feet, and your risk of falls. Thyroid problems can quietly drain your energy, cloud your memory, change your weight, and mess with your mood, and they are often missed in older adults for years. So when your nails show these repeated sideways lines, they may be waving a small flag that says something inside needs a closer look. What makes this so valuable is that these are all conditions that respond beautifully to early attention. Blood sugar can be managed, thyroid levels can be balanced, nutrition can be corrected, and when they are, people often feel a return of the energy and clarity they thought they had lost forever. The nail line itself is harmless, but the story it tells you could change the course of your health. Now, before we get to the fourth sign, let me pause and say something from the heart. If you are watching this and feeling a little worried because you recognize one of these signs, I want you to hear me clearly. Noticing something is not a bad thing. Noticing is a gift. The people who suffer the most are the ones who never look, never ask, and never know. You are not one of those people. You are here, paying attention, and that already puts you ahead. All right, let's talk about the fourth sign, the one people ignore the most, and often the one that carries some of the most important messages of all. Look at the colour of the nail itself, not just underneath it, but the whole nail. Healthy nails have that gentle pink tone with a pale half moon near the base. Now watch for unusual colours. A yellow tint, a bluish or purplish shade, a dark line running up and down the nail, or nails that have turned thick, crumbly, and discoloured. Each of these can be telling you something different, and this is where your nails become a whole conversation instead of a single word. Let's start with yellow. Thick, yellow, slow-growing nails are often caused by a fungal infection, which is very common in older adults and usually not dangerous, though it can be stubborn to treat. But yellow nails can sometimes point to other things too, including problems with the lungs or long-term swelling in the body. So while yellow is often harmless, it is worth mentioning to your doctor if it comes along with other symptoms. Now, blue or purple, this one deserves real attention. A bluish tint to your nails, sometimes called cyanosis, can mean your blood is not carrying enough oxygen. And that circles right back to the heart and the lungs. If your nails or your lips ever look blue, especially if you also feel short of breath, that is not a wait and see moment. That is a call your doctor moment, and depending on how you feel, sometimes even a call for help moment. Oxygen is life, and your nails can show you when it is running low. And then there is the sign that worries doctors the most. A new dark streak, a brown or black line running from the base of the nail up toward the tip, especially if it is getting wider, changing, or showing up on just one nail. In some cases, this is completely harmless and simply part of a person's natural colouring. But in other cases, a changing dark streak under the nail can be a warning sign of a serious skin condition, including a dangerous type of skin cancer that can hide right there beneath the nail. This is one you should never ignore and never try to judge on your own. If you see a new or changing dark line under a nail, get it checked. It is a small step that could make an enormous difference. Here is what I want you to take from all of this. Your nails are not four separate signs. They are one big picture. Colour, shape, texture, and growth all working together to give you a report on what is happening deep inside your body, in your blood, your heart, your lungs, your liver, your thyroid, and beyond. And the beautiful thing is that you carry this report with you everywhere you go. You do not need an appointment to glance at your own hands. Now let me give you something practical, something you can actually do, starting today. It costs nothing and takes about 1 minute. Once a week, in good light, take a real look at your nails. Look at the colour underneath. Look at the shape from the side. Look at the surface for sideways lines. Look at the overall colour for anything unusual. Take a photo of your hands and keep it on your phone so that a few months from now you can compare and actually see any slow changes that you would otherwise miss. Slow changes are the sneaky ones. A photo remembers what your memory forgets. And here is a gentle habit that supports your nails and your whole body at the same time. Stay well hydrated, because dehydration shows up in brittle nails and in so many other quiet ways in older age. Eat enough protein and a colourful range of foods, because your nails are built from the same nutrients that build your muscles, your skin, and your energy. Protect your hands from harsh chemicals and long soaks in water, and keep your regular checkups, because the best results always come from you noticing something and your doctor confirming what it means. Let me remind you of the golden rule that ties this whole message together. Your nails can raise the question, but only a proper examination can give the answer. Do not use anything you learn today to diagnose yourself, to panic, or to change any medication or treatment on your own. Use it to become a more aware, more confident partner in your own health. The goal is not fear. The goal is early awareness, and early awareness is where independence and long life are protected. Now, I want to ask you something, and I really do want your honest opinion in the comments. Do you think doctors spend enough time actually looking at the small things, like your nails, your skin, your eyes, the little clues on the outside of your body? Or do you feel like modern medicine has become so rushed that these old-fashioned observations are being lost? Some people believe the machines and blood tests have made these simple checks unnecessary. Others believe we have thrown away centuries of wisdom that could catch problems earlier and cheaper than any expensive scan. I would love to know where you stand. Tell me in the comments whether you think the human eye still matters, or whether you trust the tests more. And if a doctor ever caught something just by looking at your hands, share that story, because it might encourage someone else to look at their own. I read these comments, and so do thousands of other people your age who are quietly looking for reassurance that they are not alone in this. Your words might be the exact thing that pushes another viewer to finally get that spot, that line, or that colour checked. Never underestimate how much your experience can help someone else who is scared and unsure. Let me leave you with this final thought before we finish. For most of your life, you have used your hands to work, to hold, to build, to care for the people you love. Your hands have wiped away tears, held newborn babies, fixed things, cooked meals, and reached out to steady someone who was falling. After all these years, it turns out those same hands are still working for you, still looking out for you, still trying to tell you something important, if you are willing to listen. So the next time you sit down in a quiet moment, maybe with a cup of tea, take a look at your hands, not with worry, but with respect. Ask them what they are trying to say. Because the people who stay healthiest and most independent in their later years are almost never the ones who did something extraordinary. They are the ones who paid attention to the small things, early, before those small things became big things. You have taken that first step today, just by watching all the way to the end. That tells me you care about your future, about your independence, and about the years you still have ahead of you. And those years can be good ones, strong ones, clear ones, full of the moments and the people that make life worth living. Keep looking after yourself. Keep looking at the signs. And keep listening to what your body is trying to tell you, because it has been speaking to you all along, quietly, patiently, and faithfully, waiting for the day you finally decide to pay attention. If this helped you see your own health in a new light, do one kind thing for someone you love. Share it with them. Tell them to check their hands too. Because the more of us who learn to read these quiet signals, the more of us who get to stay well, stay strong, and stay together for many more years to come. Take care of those hands. They have taken care of you for a very long time, and they are not finished yet.